Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Let's get into today's topic. Yesterday, what I witnessed in that Laker game to the Phoenix Suns was unlike anything I've seen before. Unlike anything. Going into that game, the Lakers were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, right? The number 2 team in the Western Conference. Now, I don't know what they are now. Let me just get a quick update on where they stand right now. Okay, they're still the number 2 seed. And they were playing against a 12-9 Phoenix Sun team. Going into that game, I was watching it. Devin Booker was going shot for shot with Luka Doncic in the first quarter, and it was looking to turn out to be a fantastic game. But then what happened was Devin Booker went out in the first half, and after the first quarter, he only played 10 minutes. And then we later on heard that he suffered a groin injury and he could not return to the game. So at that point, I thought, okay, Devin Booker isn't going to be back. This is a great opportunity for the Lakers to go ahead and win this game. As a matter of fact, I posted in the comments below before the game started in the community post. I said this is going to be a good test for the Lakers, being that this is the first time they're going to be playing a 500 caliber team since the return of Lebron James. What ended up happening in the first half was that the Lakers gave up 66 points to 52. Right? We get to the third quarter, and it was more of the same. The Suns scored 30. The Lakers scored 25. And while J.J. Redick is trying to corral the team, get everything under control, and just basically trying to stop the bleeding and trying to get the team back on course, you have LeBron James out there. In the midst of competition, LeBron was so out of it and so disinterested in what was going on the court, clearly not bothered by the losing. And once he saw that the team had no chance of really coming back, he mentally checked out of the game. Now, apparently, I thought I was the only one when I saw this that was disturbed by what I saw. But during the game, and I believe it was the third or fourth quarter. I don't remember when. I think it was the third or fourth quarter, or late third, probably early fourth. LeBron James could be seen talking and laughing with the Suns bench while the game is going on. And what ended up happening was cameras ended up capturing footage of Lakers head coach J.J. Redick fuming at LeBron James, as well as other footage surfaced of even members of the team like Luka Doncic and all of them shaking their head like this dude is a total clown. So what we want to do is we want to show you guys the footage of LeBron up there laughing and joking with the opposing team during a game, during a blowout. Take a look at this, and I'm going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a look at this footage here. Excellent. So you saw the footage. What are my thoughts on this? JJ, you still like LeBron? You still like him? You still think those people that call him out for his foolishness are idiots? Didn't we try to tell you? What did I say when LeBron first became a Laker? What did I say? I said then, and I'm going to reiterate what I said then, I'm going to say it now. LeBron doesn't give a damn about the Lakers. He doesn't. Nor does his fans. All they care about is what he cares about, which is what? LeBron James. And if it ain't about LeBron James, they don't care. They simply do not care. Mind you, this guy is getting paid $52.6 million. $52.6 million, which makes him a max player to be on the sideline laughing and cackling like a damn hyena during the game. What message do you think this sends to Luka Doncic? I think it sends the very message that the Lakers understood when they said, we cannot continue on with this joker anymore. And you have some of his fans that have the nerve to be upset with the Lakers for wanting to move on by not giving him a contract extension. So what? You want them to sign up for some more years of this bull? Is that what you want? A guy that's just out there shamelessly stat padding. And we're going to get to that in a different video. We're going to get to that in a different video. It's a disgrace. He don't care. JJ Redick, welcome to the party, bro. This is what we've been saying for years. Can you imagine Kobe Bryant laughing with the opposing team while his team is losing? And they're calling a timeout. Instead of you walk to the huddle, you're over there laughing while everybody's walking. You're there laughing. Not only is that disrespectful to the organization, it's disrespectful to your coach and your teammates. That's what it shows. But yet, this is meant to be the leader. Do you remember what I was telling you guys early in the season when LeBron wasn't coming back? I told you the Lakers players, I don't know any of them, but just looking at the situation from afar, they didn't give a damn. They had moved on and they didn't care. Trust me when I tell you, the Lakers are just passing time with this dude. Do you see Luka even looking for him in games? Like, they moved on. They've moved on. You see Reeves capitulating and they're not even looking at him anymore. They're out there trying to figure out what's going on, and you got this guy over there laughing with the Suns bench. He don't care. He don't care. So, of course, JJ Redick will be furious with him. You saw his face. But yet, some of these bozo clowns are talking about, man, does LeBron deserve a statue in LA? I mean, when you consider all of what he did, what has he done? What has he done? You acting like as if this dude done went to 4 finals, won 3 championships, and did all of that. What has he done? First year he got there, they missed the playoffs. Next year he got there, they won a championship. The next year they got knocked out in round 1. The next year they went to the, what happened? Yes, they didn't make the play-in. The next year they went to the conference finals, they lost and they got swept. The next year they went out in the first round. The next year they went out in the first round. But you got some of his clown-ass buffoon fans talking about, oh man, you know, yeah. You know, what do you think about that statue? What do you think about taking a bath and going to sleep? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's LeBron James for you. To the point where now the coach is even disgusted. If I were JJ, I'll bench his ass. You come off the bench. All you care about is scoring 10 points a game anyway, so you can score that coming off the bench. Let's get into today's topic here. So yesterday we produced a show that was centered on the controversy surrounding Senator Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly has been one of the biggest things to talk about in news because of the viral video that him and some of his colleagues, Democratic colleagues, posted, where they were essentially telling military members that you must disobey unlawful orders. You don't have to follow unlawful orders. That sparked an entire controversy. The president himself weighed in on it. The administration was talking about launching an investigation into him. It was just a big dust up. So in the midst of this, Stephen A. Smith decided to jump into the fray, and he decided to comment on it. Now, Stephen A. Smith is someone that likes to fashion himself as an independent. But if you've been listening to his podcast for the last, Straight Shooter for the last 6 to 8 months, you will know that he's the furthest thing from an independent. Stephen A. Smith is a conservative. All of his views are conservative. He's always tearing apart the Democratic Party. He thinks they're confused, rudderless. They don't know what they're doing. So that's just been his talking points, right? So people like myself have always wondered, hey, just come out and say you're conservative. People better understand where you stand on issues instead of trying to play this game of, oh, I'm in the middle and I'm above the fray and I don't really, I'm not really siding with anyone, when we listen to your rhetoric and it says the total opposite. So anyway, this is making all kind of headlines in terms of what Senator Mark Kelly had to say. So Stephen A. Smith decided to weigh in on it yesterday, and he was going off. How dare you tell military members to disobey the president and all of this? And he was just, showing his righteous indignation over this issue. So for those of you who don't remember what he had to say or never heard what he had to say, I'm going to quickly play his comments for you now, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith here yesterday.
If anybody knows that, it's Mark Kelly. Respectfully, Senator, what the hell are you doing? Looking into the camera and telling military men and women to ignore the commander-in-chief. How dare you? How dare you do that? That's right, I'm calling out. I never served in the military. That's true. I have family members who did. Some of my best friends have. Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army. I haven't heard one of them, not one of them, say that was okay. How dare you do that? Is it treason? No. Is it punishable by death? It shouldn't be. So the answer is no. But you know better, Senator Kelly. You know better. How dare you do that? What are you supposed to do? You're a ranking senator. You could go to the Senate. You could go to the House. You can draw up paperwork. You can try to start articles of impeachment if you think there's something illegal. I mean, damn, it ain't like y'all haven't done it before. You impeached the man twice. Where'd that get you? Got his behind back in the White House. Had you left him alone since 2020, maybe he wouldn't be back terrorizing the Democratic Party the way that he is. But you did it. You did it. And here you are again with this nonsense. How dare you do that? I'm not a military person, and I know better than that. You don't tell military men and women to ignore an order from the commander-in-chief. You don't do that. Is it going to amount to what Trump tried to embellish and indicate? No. But that don't make you right. How dare you do that? He's the commander-in-chief for the United States military, period. You have no business doing that. None. And by the way, the biggest reason is because what was illegal? You didn't tell us what it was. What laws? Why did I bring up A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Kiefer Sutherland in that sequence and Kevin Bacon? Why did I bring it up? Because the mere thought of you even implying that a military officer is engaging in some type of salacious or illegal activity is trouble in the military, not the court of laws for civilians, the military. Senator Mark Kelly knows that. Trump is giving illegal orders. What are the illegal orders? How come you didn't tell us? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Why do you think the investigation is going on? Why do you think Trump is all over Pete Hegseth, over the Department of War and the FBI with Kash Patel, and folks are looking into and probing what's going on and how can they get to Mark Kelly because they know he did something wrong. You crossed the damn line. You are an elected official in the nation's capital. We have a constitution. You got a problem, you go through the necessary process. Whether it's Hakeem Jeffries in the House, whether it's Schumer in the Senate, or anybody else. That is the point that's the process you're supposed to go to. You don't go in front of the cameras and give military officer or military personnel a directive to ignore their commander-in-chief, and you've given no evidence what his illegal orders were. And if you try to sit up there and say, oh, it was just alluding to a future reference to future situations, oh, so he's going to give you an illegal order in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, that flies over the airwaves of Sirius XM or one of these news networks or something like that. It does not apply in our military. You can't do that.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Now, Pete Hegseth. Okay, Pete Hegseth has been making the news for all the wrong reasons, right? The United States Secretary of War. As you guys know, they changed the name of the department. So it used to be called the Department of Defense, now it's the Department of War, right? So he's the Secretary of War. And he has said a few controversial things here and there, like a few months ago, maybe a number of weeks ago, he got together all of the key top-level military members around the world, got them in a room, and basically started telling them things that you wouldn't even believe. You know, if you're in the army, you can't be fat, all kind of crazy stuff, right? Then the president himself walked in, and then, of course, the military members, they're meant to be bipartisan. So they're not meant to show their allegiance in any way. They're meant to basically support the president regardless of who's in office, right? So you had that situation there. You had some remarks that kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. So anyway, as you guys know, he's currently in the midst of this serious conversation surrounding war crimes, right? For some strikes that they have been conducting this Venezuela boat strike, right? So everyone has been talking about it. So what we want to do, right? Because maybe some people are not following the story. We want to give you guys a quick summation of what's really going on here. We got this from the video from ABC News, and it says Secretary Hegseth faces scrutiny for lethal boat strike. So what we want to do is want to play a little bit of this just to give you guys a quick summation of what's going on here, and I'm going to come back and really get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. So take a listen to this quickly.
This morning, bipartisan fallout over the Trump administration's escalating military campaign in the Caribbean. The Washington Post reports after U.S. forces carried out a strike in September on a suspected drug boat that left two survivors struggling in the water, a second strike was carried out to kill them. This was allegedly done to comply with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's initial orders to kill all passengers on the boat. Now lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say Hegseth may have violated international law.
This rises to the level of a war crime if it's true.
When people want to surrender, you don't kill them, and they have to pose an imminent threat. It's hard to believe that two people on a raft trying to survive would pose an imminent threat.
Hegseth defending his orders, saying the intent is to stop lethal drugs, destroy narco boats, and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people. Biden coddled terrorists, we kill them. President Trump responding to the report.
I'm going to find out about it, but Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
Some experts argue even if Hegseth did not order that second strike, it may still be a violation of the laws of war. It comes as President Trump escalates his threats against Venezuela, warning all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety. Venezuela calling that warning a colonialist threat to its sovereignty. Trump was asked whether his airspace comment means strikes against Venezuela are imminent.
Don't read anything into it.
Trump revealing he has spoken to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, but not sharing details. Trump last night also speaking about a freeze on all asylum decisions in the U.S. after last week's shooting of two National Guard members in Washington, D.C., allegedly by an Afghan national.
How long does your administration plan to pause asylum into the U.S.?
I think a long time.
Can you give any
We
kind
don't
of
want
time?
them.
What's
We
a
don't
long
want those
time?
people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
The Trump administration granted the suspect asylum in April. He was allowed into the U.S. during the Biden administration and previously worked with the CIA. Sources say he was recently mourning the loss of a mentor while also dealing with financial stress, unable to work because of an expired work permit. The Associated Press reporting his mental health had deteriorated. Police not yet revealing a possible motive.
Excellent. So you heard what the video had to say. Now, I want to also read quickly from some articles that I found online just to give this this story a little bit more depth. So we got the first article from Politico.com, and it says lawmakers warn Hegseth may have committed war crimes following second strike report. Democrats and even some Republicans said Hegseth orders may have been illegal if reports on his commands to kill survivors of a boat attack are true. The article then continues on. Lawmakers from both parties raised alarm Sunday that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth may have committed a war crime following a report that he'd ordered a follow-on attack to kill survivors of a boat strike in September. The Washington Post reported last week that Hegseth also authorized a highly unusual strike to kill all survivors of one of the Trump administration attacks in recent months on boats alleged to be carrying drugs in international waters. Politico has not independently verified the Post reporting. It then continues on. Senator Chris Van Helen and Tim Kaine, both of whom sit on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said Sunday that, if accurate, such orders were raised to the level of war crimes. If that reporting is true, it's a clear violation of the DOD's own laws of war as well as international laws about the way you treat people who are in that circumstance. And so this rises to the level of a war crime if it's true, Kaine said in an interview with CBS Nancy Cordes on Face the Nation. Senator Mark Kelly also said in a Sunday morning interview with CNN State of the Union that the order, if true, is clearly not lawful. And then Ed Markley responded to the article by writing on social media Saturday evening, Pete Hegseth is a war criminal and should be fired immediately. The Pentagon declined to comment beyond a Friday social media post in which Hegseth branded the Post articles as fabricated, inflammatory, and derogatory reporting, insisting our current operations in the Caribbean are lawful under both U.S. and international law. Hegseth did not dispute that he gave the orders detailed in the article. While skeptical to concede that the Washington Post reporting may be accurate, Republicans also raised concerns that Hegseth's orders could have been illegal if they played out as reported. Bipartisan leadership of the Army Service Committee in both chambers vowed to probe the matter, with Senator Roger Wicker and Jack Reed promising vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances on Friday. Representative Mike Turner told Cordes on Sunday that if that occurred, that would be very serious, and I agree, that would be an illegal act. And also, Representative Don Bacon said on NBC this week that if that article said is true, whatever, it's a violation of law. Now, we got that part. Now, I also wanted to understand, could Pete Hegseth face prosecution if we find out that he committed a war crime? And I got a quick article here. This is from time.com. I just want to read the first paragraph. It says, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth could face criminal liability for a strike on a boat in the Caribbean in September. Legal experts have told Time as lawmakers announced a rare bipartisan investigation of the incident in which 11 people were killed, 2 in separate strikes. The September 2 strikes, among the first in the Trump administration months-long bombing campaign against what it claims are drug trafficking boats operating in the Caribbean, were carried out by the SEAL Team 6 at the orders of Hegseth, according to a Washington Post investigation. So what are my thoughts about this, and how does Stephen A. Smith tie into all of this? Well, the way Stephen A. Smith ties into this is rather simple. Stephen A. Smith was so fired up about making sure that Senator Mark Kelly doesn't send out a message to the public and to the military that it's okay to disobey orders and you have to follow the rule of law. Well, here you have a situation where, according to this Washington Post investigation, that the Secretary of War may have committed a war crime. So what we're looking to see is Stephen A. Smith going to weigh in on this issue with the same amount of fervor and vigor that he had for the other topic? Because if you are truly an independent, as you proclaim yourself to be, you should have absolutely zero issue with tackling such a matter. It's also important that we state the following. When the president was asked about this on Air Force One, even the president himself said he would not have ordered the second strike. He believed that it may have been excessive, which translates into, Pete, you're on your own. You're on your own, because usually what happens is whenever key members in the president's in the administration do something that may be viewed as a screw up, the president still finds a way to come to their defense. But in this particular matter, President Donald Trump is saying he would not, and that can be simply translated as you're on your own, buddy. You're on your own, right? Because the president can simply absolve himself from the situation, because he's not the one that was at the helm of this operation. It was the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. So what we're waiting to see is Stephen A. Smith going to drop this same video a little bit later this week, today, whenever, going off on this issue the way he went off on Senator Mark Kelly. Because based on my understanding on the show that we produced, we had a lot of military members weigh in on that video. And all of them said in unison that you are not to obey illegal orders, period. So I don't understand what the issue is with what Mark Kelly said. And I don't understand what Stephen A. Smith is so fired up about. But since you were showing your righteous indignation over these type of issues, we'll be looking to hear from you about this one as well. We'll be looking to hear from you to see if you're going to cover this situation the same way you covered that last one. Because truly, that's what an independent would do. Yesterday was an absolute debacle of a basketball game. The Lakers somehow, someway found a way to lose to a number 7 Phoenix Sun team with a Devin Booker that only played one quarter. They couldn't guard a parked car. Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James look like they didn't even know how to play defense at all. They're getting blown off the damn court. Then LeBron finds a way to then stay in the game in the fourth quarter to try to stat pad and get his 10-point scoring streak to keep that alive. And then walked out of the game without any damn shame. And just when you thought the situation couldn't get even more embarrassing, it did. Because the Lakers and JJ Redick decided that they were going to contaminate the court by bringing out Bronny James. Bronny James walks into the game in the fourth quarter in 5 minutes and does the usual. Absolutely, positively, not a damn thing. Okay, Bronny checks in the game in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Bronny steps in 5 minutes, has 0 points. Miraculously, 1 turnover. I don't even know how he figured out a way to do that. And absolutely added nothing to the team, and he had 1 assist. And I'm now getting to the point and saying to myself, because I just recently saw some footage of him in the G League, where he was looking horrendous there. Why is this guy still even on this team? Why? Do you know what I think? I think it's time for LeBron to move on. And the Jameses to move on from this organization. That's what I think that's where I am now. You got this guy, I posted this video, the guy that does the rants on Bronny and all, the hilarious guy, just going off on, like, cracking all kind of jokes about him in the game that he had in the G League. But I'm saying to myself, I said, what is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of all? What did I tell y'all? I told you guys that the Lakers have been a clown show for years. And as a guy that was supporting the Lakers since the early 2000s, after Kobe retired and they were bringing this guy to I said, I'm done. There's no way I'm supporting this team when you have his ridiculous fans and this guy on the team. And ever since LeBron has gotten to the Lakers, they have become a clown show. To the point where now they're drafting players that don't even deserve to be on the damn roster. Just for the giggles of it. Just for giggles. Now you got Bron, and this is why the new ownership that came in through the door and said, you know what, we're done. We're done. We're not gonna extend LeBron James's contract. So guess what? He pouted. He pouted. He pouted all throughout the game, the first game of the regular season. And now he's in the games, averaging 15 points a game, getting paid $52 million, $0.6 million. And then on top of that, is in there stat padding to trying to get his 10-point streak to keep it alive. And then to add insult to injury, the Lakers thought, you know what would be a great idea? What would be a great idea? What do you think, guys? Let's bring in Bronny. Let's bring it in for garbage minutes and let's just watch him run around and do some cardio on the court. Do you know why people continuously make fun of Bronny? It's because he doesn't deserve to be on the team. That's why. And for the simple fact that if Bronny, even in this game, had one layup or a dunk, they would have plastered it all over social media and acted like as if something amazing happened. But then want to get upset with us when we're like, why is he on the team? Why is he on the court? What is the purpose of what's the point of all of this? Huh? What NBA player do you know that as time goes on, he gets worse? He gets worse. Bronny was better in his rookie season than he is here now. Everything states as such. He averaged more points. He shot a better field goal percentage. He shot a better three-point percentage. He was getting about the same rebounds, just a slightly more assists. He's having more turnovers this year and slightly more steals. But he was a better player last year. A better player. And still out some way, he's still managing to get minutes on the court. Still have some way, JJ Redick is still going on with this pony show. And I just for the life of me cannot understand what the big idea is here with all of this. Why is he on this team? Thank God that this is LeBron's last year as a Los Angeles Laker. Thank goodness. Because for one, I'm exhausted. Go on social media and go look at what people are saying about this guy after he stat padded in that. Go look. Go look. People are saying, how do you expect Luka Doncic to win with this guy? This is where we are. Now, I'm not going to put it all on him last night because Luka Doncic was horrendously bad on defense, as was Austin Reeves, which is one of the reasons why I said you can't play those three guys in the starting lineup. And if you're expecting your best perimeter on the floor to be Rui Hachimura, and Ayton is supposed to be protecting the rim because these three guys on the court can't guard a parked car, you're in trouble. And what happened? Yesterday when we faced a halfway decent team, we got a shellacking. They beat the hell out of us. The hell out of us. And in the midst of all of that, LeBron fans can at least go to bed feeling good about themselves because, oh, well, LeBron got his 10-point scoring streak and Bronny played. So for them, they're having a ball. You think LeBron fans went to bed bad? Hell no, they didn't go to bed mad. They're like, bro, we got the scoring record going. It's still going. The streak is still going. We good money, bro. Losing. Who cares? They'll hit you with, oh, he's 40. What you want him to do? He just having fun out there, having fun, collecting $52.6 million to have fun and shoot the breeze with the opposing bench. You're getting paid $52.6 million to be cackling and kikiing it up with the opposing team during a game when a coach calls a timeout. This is where we are. Let's get into this video. LeBron James is not a serious person, nor are his fans. You see, LeBron fans, they can call me everything under the sun. Oh, you're a hater of this, you're a hater of that. But the one thing they can't call me is a liar. Wasn't it Stephen A. Smith that just said a few weeks ago that LeBron James cannot stat pad his way to the GOAT conversation? Haven't us NBA fans been talking about going all the way back to Miami that LeBron James is a stat padder? Weren't we the ones that pointed out when he wore that shirt after he got smacked in the finals, check my stats? Haven't I said that LeBron fans, all they care about is stats? That winning and losing is an afterthought to them? They don't care about anything except stats. This year, they've looked at LeBron's averages, and this year he's averaging 15.2 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, on 49% shooting from the field, 33% from shooting from the floor. Well, Michael Jordan looked better than this guy in the age of 40. I'll tell you that. So once they realized that they couldn't run around, holler and scream and twerk it up and pour honey all over each other's booties and smack each other with just honey sticks, they then said to themselves, well, look, we need something to make this season matter. I know what it is. His 10-point scoring streak. So LeBron fans have now said to themselves, the one thing we can now hang our hats on is whether or not LeBron James scores 10 points a night. They are that pathetic of a fan base that their number one focus, year in, and game in and game out is whether or not to see if LeBron is going to score 10 points. So what happened? Yesterday, in the midst of that game between the Lakers and the Suns, where they were getting absolutely manhandled, and now you finally see why I said Luka, LeBron, Reeves ain't gonna work. You had these LeBron fans sitting in the corner with buckets of honey, beating their meat, rubbing their titties, hollering and screaming in the corner. LeBron unlocks the Lakers. You saw Low dumbass, that video he did. Oh man, LeBron takes the Lakers to another level. I'm like, what is it talking about? What are you watching? Close the laptop, turn off the computer, stop reading stats, and look at the damn game. How can he be adding a new dimension to the team when your three best players are ass-cheek defenders? But you want to make a big deal out of a game where you had a double-double against the number 11 or 12 Utah Jazz in the West. And you want to show us how many vocabulary words you know while describing that shit. So I said, let's see how they perform against at least an above 500 team. Yesterday, they were playing against the number 8 or 7 Phoenix Suns, for goodness sake. Then in the first quarter, Devin Booker goes out after 9 minutes and 55 seconds. One would have thunk that these would have did something. But once they saw that the game was out of control and out of stretch, LeBron went back to Old Faithful. Let me figure out a way to stat pad. And what ensued in that third or fourth quarter was the most disgraceful thing I have seen in years from a basketball player. So as I'm watching the game, the Lakers are down like 18 in the fourth. Luka on the bench. And I'm looking at LeBron. I'm like, what is he doing out there? It's not like as if he has any interest in playing any defense. The guy played. How many minutes did this guy play for? He played for an entire game. Let me give you the statistics. For one full NBA game, a 6'9" forward played a full 31 minutes and had 0 rebounds. 0. Do you know why? Because he was focused on getting that 10 points. So as I'm watching the game, I'm looking to see what is he doing out there. And LeBron, LeBron is at 6 points. And I said, I know what he's doing out there. He then tries to go to the free throw line and gets fouled. He hits 1 or 2. And then a few plays later, he hits a 3. He gets to 10 points. And immediately the Lakers call a timeout. And this dude had the balls to walk off that floor after knowing he secured his 10-point scoring streak. And I said that this dude is a full-blown clown. In the midst of losing, what was on his mind was, how can I secure my scoring run? That was one of the most shameful things I have ever seen from an NBA great. So, Lo, what happened to this? Oh, matter of fact, let me pull it up. Because I want to pull up the title that used for his video. He said, I want to show y'all the title. Because this dude, instead of reading books, he reads Basketball Reference all day long. Let me show you let me pull up the title of what this dude posted the game LeBron came back. I'm actually trying to find the title of the video of what he wrote, and I can't find it at the moment. No, not 3 months ago. Let me see. A month ago now. He posted it a few weeks ago, and I can't find it. It was something like LeBron. Hold on, let me see. LeBron James. It was something like LeBron James unlocks the Lakers, or he takes them to a new level. I forgot what he said. And I'm sitting there looking at this dude is talking about LeBron unlocking the Lakers while they're playing sub 500 teams. I've never seen an 11 and 10 point game analyzed more than that game was. There was so much thing going on that Nick Young jumped out the window and said, man, you know what, Gil? What, Nick? Man, after watching LeBron score 11 and 10, I think he better than Michael Jordan. This is where we at. This is the dude they want to put ahead of Kobe Bryant. This dude right here. This dude is who they tell me is ahead of Kobe. A dude that's more concerned with stats than winning. Stats even supersede shame. He didn't even mind the shame of walking off the court knowing that that's the only reason you stayed on the court. And you got his clown ass teammates cheering for. Can you imagine a team if Kobe and LeBron were teammates and the Lakers are getting blown out and LeBron tries to get it and you think Kobe Bryant is going to stand up and clap for the. You think that's going to happen on a team where Kobe's on, that LeBron going to be on there, they're losing, and he's still in the game trying to stat pad, and then Kobe going to dap him up when he walked to the bench? You think Kobe could play on the same team with a clown like that? This is why LeBron fans have no problem talking about a GOAT debate. You know why? Because losing don't matter to them. They found a way to explain away losing. Oh, he lost because of this. He lost because of that. So therefore, it doesn't count. In their minds, all that counts is winning. But then MJ has more wins than him. Well, who did MJ play? You see how dumb a LeBron fan is? You see how stupid these guys are? Man, I can't wait for the Lakers. I cannot wait. January is just around the corner. I cannot wait for him to be gone from the Lakers. I cannot wait.